Okay, did I miss something? I've been kind of standing here for the past 20 minutes or so waiting for Saren Prime and Varzia Prime to end. Because they should have ended at, I actually wanted to go there, 2 PM ET? That was 20 minutes ago. And who should be there now? I actually feel dirty coming here and without him, but Frost Prime and Ember Prime. Mainly because this is basically the last week, the last rotation for the primed Resurgence. So we're just going to hit browse wares, and as expected, the Reaper Prime, the Latron Prime, the Glaive Prime, and the Sakara's Prime, with, of course, Frost Prime and Ember Prime. Yes, I have two Frost Primes. I have Umbral Frost, and Frost Prime. So technically I have three. And annoyingly I use all three of them. Should probably just be using one, but Umbral Frost is great against the Sentient, Primed Frost is great for everything else, and Normal Frost is basically set up for speedrunning. There is also the Pyra Prime Sandana and the Mesa Prime Sandana. That thing, I don't care how many people wish to strongly disagree with me. That Sandana does not belong to Frost Prime. Yes, it was the first Prime Sandana. The original Prime Sandana. It's Ember's Prime Sandana because it came with Ember's Prime Access. Ember, of course, being the first Prime Access. The original Prime Access. Frost never had a Prime Access. He's had a Prime Vault or a Prime Unvaulting with the Latron and the Reaper. He never had a Prime Access. Which is why it was kind of, I don't really want to say insulting, but I picked up the Prime Vault just to get my hands on this. And then they've gone and put it in here for a lot cheaper than I paid for the damn thing, and I basically scrapped everything I got from that, apart from the Noggle, that eventually turned up. Really interested to see where they are this year, considering the Prime Noggles didn't turn up at the end of 2021. At least mine didn't. Oh, and I'll also add this. Do not buy Ducats with your ire. That is a rip-off. That is a straight up rip-off, because you can crack a relic and you are guaranteed to get 15 Ducats from it, or, well, that's it. One ire is one relic. So buy the relics, crack it open, and the cheap parts will guarantee you 15. The better parts are 100. 5 is still kind of insulting that that is still there. To me, out of everything Prime Resurgence related, that remains the biggest problem that I see. There is a few other ones, but the ire itself, up here, bounties. Bounties in Deimos is probably one of the best places to get a hold of this stuff. It drops there a lot. My record was 2. From one bounty it was 4. From one bounty. 4 of them, because it was 1, then something else, another 1, then something else, and then got 2. Hence, 4 of them. Or you can go to the Void and spend 7 times longer and get 1. That 17 there was from about 15 minutes at most on Deimos. Yep, we'll not be going back to the Void when farming for this stuff. Why do I keep saying that this is Varzia's last week? Because technically it is. The Prime Resurgence ends with Ember Prime, Frost Prime, the Sakara's Prime, the Glaive Prime, the Latron Prime, and the Reaper Prime. Out of the 8 weeks that this was running, this is week 8. From January 11th, until January 11th, it's the 4th. From January the 4th until January 11th, Ember Prime, Frost Prime are here. Next week will be Mag Prime, Nova Prime, Limbo Prime, Trinity Prime, Mesa Prime, Hydroid Prime, Volt Prime, and Loki Prime. for a week, because the next 2 weeks are where this whole Prime Resurgence is going to round up with the last chance, and I'm still amazed that they haven't fixed this image, because you can see the image contains the frames from the first week. They kind of didn't fix it for part 2 to have all of the frames from the second part. There's none of the frames from the second part actually in that at all. No, there is. There's Saren in the background. Mesa was part of the first week. Ash, same thing, second week. So it is a mix of the two, but yeah, still, I'm just being really picky about this. So this is the last week of this. Then next week, on January 11th, it's going to swap to the first 4 weeks at once. Then, January the 18th, you probably guessed it at this point, the last 4 weeks at once. Meaning, wow, what would that be? January the 25th, when the entire Prime Resurgence comes to a complete end. I'm really interested to see how things are going to play out, because I like the system for bringing back vaulted frames. I don't like the way that it was done, because the primed regal ire, it's not tradable, it's not refundable, it's not anything, and it costs more than the prime parts would to buy with platinum. If you bought the platinum to buy the prime parts with. They have fixed it by adding platinum to it. You didn't used to get platinum with it. They kind of evened it out and did reduce the price of the parts by a lot, but unless you're after the prime accessories or the prime noggles, the best thing to do with this entire thing is to do some bounties, get some ire, and pick up the relics. Because it's the relics that are the vaulted part of this. It's not even there. Can't say that it's vaulted. Because technically they are. And technically they're not. Because they are here right now, but if you look them up in the codex, it says vaulted. But we've gone on too long. I'm really looking forward to see how this plays out next week, and more importantly, how this plays out going forward, because I like the idea of Varzia and the Prime Resurgence and there being more vaulted stuff kicking around constantly, but it also needed a little bit of fine tweaking, like the Ducats being a complete rip-off. So interested to see how that works, but next week, oh, she's gonna have a lot. And with that, we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.